Okay, all good. All right. So today we're going to talk about being your own coach. And what does it mean to be your own coach? Being your own coach means to be your own best friend, to walk through the world and talking to yourself about things that you want to do, encouraging yourself and supporting yourself with tools that are helping you to do the things that you value. Being your own coach is understanding that meditation is so important. Being your own coach is understanding that physical exercise is so important. Being your own coach means that you understand that those things is loving yourself. Think of yourself as two people, you and yourself, and you're taking yourself through the world. You're taking yourself on dates. You're taking yourself to make your body healthier. You're taking yourself to take supplements that support you. You're taking yourself to the movies. You're taking yourself to meet friends. You're taking yourself to the gym. You're taking yourself to so many places to support yourself. Now, what's in between you and a lot of passions that you have? Thoughts and emotions. Mark Freeman talked about what's between us and our dreams is a lot of times a bathwater of thoughts and emotions. And some of you are going to call these thoughts and emotions traumas. But trauma is really an overused word. And to make it simpler to understand, trauma comes up in the present moment as thoughts and emotions, right? They come up in the moment as thoughts and emotions. They might be very terrorizing or antagonizing thoughts and emotions, but they still come up as images, thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations. All of these things the brain has an effect on. So it's our job to see that these patterns come from a place in the past, but we don't have to go back to the past to fix it because those patterns come up in the present moment. The way to show the brain that those patterns are not necessary anymore is to not use them anymore. The problem is that those patterns feel very addictive. When you're in a relationship and you're scared that your boyfriend is cheating on you, and at night you're driving to a house to think he's there with another girl, thoughts and emotions got you there. And the more you follow those thoughts and emotions, the more jealous you become, the more mental health problems you get. So if you have anxiety coming up, if you have jealousy coming up, and you're trying to make that jealousy feel better by going on your phone and checking what your boyfriend's doing or checking what other people's doing to make those feelings feel better, you're showing your brain that those trauma patterns are necessary. For most people, it's very normal to do trauma patterns, to act on these patterns and to, with that, feed those patterns. Most people, when they don't feel good, grab the phone, try to call someone, venting to try to make a feeling feel better. The more you vent to try to make a feeling feel better, the more the brain's like, oh, you love to fix this feeling? The brain doesn't understand, oh, let me help you to get rid of this feeling. The brain does look at your behavior, and your behavior is the feeling comes up and you're trying to fix it. You want to fix it. So the brain's like, oh, you love fixing. The brain doesn't understand, oh, you don't like this and you want to get rid of it and this is terrorizing you. The brain is like, oh no, you love fixing. That's what you love. You show it to me with your behavior. So the brain's like, how can I support you in fixing more feelings? Oh, I give you more feelings of jealousy. I give you more thoughts of not feeling good enough. I give you more thoughts of not being ready yet to do your podcast or your passions. And that's the paradox, because most people are like, oh yeah, of course, I want to make these feelings feel better. Of course, I want to control these feelings. In ACT therapy and ERP therapy, we have a name for doing these behaviors. It's called compulsions. Maybe you heard me speaking in my videos about compulsions. Compulsions will always hurt your mental health. You're feeding trauma patterns. If you ever heard about Eckhart Tolle, he talks about the pain body. A lot of these teachings are very much connected. And the pain body oftentimes comes up in relationships. It stays dormant for a while. It's like sleepy, it's sleeping somewhere. But in relationships, a lot of trauma can come up. And then the pain body comes up in maybe an argument or the fear of losing that person or trying to make that person love you. And the pain body comes up in your body and it's like, no, I cannot lose this person. I cannot lose this person. And the pain body gets fed by the story. So the more the pain body comes up, oh, I cannot lose this person. You're like, okay, how can I fix this? How can I make myself more lovable? How can I make myself more amazing that that person loves me? How can I control this situation? How can I get the competition away? How can I delete all these girls out of my boyfriend's phone to make sure he loves me? What you're doing is you're feeding the pain body. The pain body is eating. It's feeding. So the more you talk back to that story, right? We don't have control over the thoughts that keep come in your head, but you have control if you're talking back. And the more you talk back to that story, the more you're feeding the pain body and you keep it alive, and it's going to continue in relationship after relationship after relationship. Now, how does that connect to me talking about being your own coach? You being your own coach is like someone who needs to stop drinking alcohol. It's about not feeding the patterns anymore, even though they're so addictive. And some of you are like, but these patterns feel so strong. I don't think I'm strong enough to help myself to break these patterns. Some of these patterns are like 400 pounds in the gym, and you might be only able to move 100 pounds. But since the brain is not only in one subject, like relationships, the brain is in every subject of your life. There's things that you're doing where you feed the patterns, where you could build emotional fitness to get stronger, so you are able to cut out those bigger patterns. And I'll give you an example. Let's say you wake up in the morning and the brain comes in, oh, we feel bored, or we feel a little bit anxiety. Let's say boredom, just boredom comes up, which is a very 20 pounds kind of weight, right? It's not that heavy as like addictive feelings in relationship. Boredom is like a 20-pound kind of weight. Let's say you like, I don't want to feel this boredom. I don't like it. Grab the phone immediately, scroll what's Beyonce is doing, what's the Republican doing, what Democrats are doing. Oh, that feels better. Now I'm not bored. You just did a compulsion. You just developed emotional weakness. You just made yourself a slave to the brain. You just made yourself more reactive to the brain. This was a 20-pound dumbbell that you were not willing to move. So do you think that when you're in a relationship and the feeling comes up, no, I cannot lose this person, and it's like 400 pounds, the brain's like, hey, you had a problem with the 20-pound dumbbells. You couldn't even handle boredom. I don't think you can handle this. So that's why we want to be okay with uncomfortable feelings. Being okay with uncomfortable feelings, accepting these feelings, which all the teachers are talking about, acceptance, is actually you building a bigger space for these feelings, which makes you more emotionally fit with these feelings, which make you an Arnold Schwarzenegger for these emotional fitness feelings. So the more you practice not being reactive, for example, to social media or to venting, and you're okay with anxiety, other feelings, and here's the key. Instead, we have to show our brain what we really care about. Instead, we are acting mindfully on the things that we value, right? The things that support our lives, our value garden, the things that grow our life, like, for example, physical fitness, going running, like, for example, relaxation, going to a spa, like, for example, friends and family relationships, hanging out with them and having game night. Now, the importance here is, even if you do those things, but you still spending time in your head on the patterns, you're still feeding the patterns. And that's where the importance of mindfulness comes in. Mindfulness is actually doing less work. And you guys practicing mindfulness will actually give you a huge relief, because you don't have to do all that work in your brain trying to fix these patterns. You want to have the understanding that those patterns are not you. It's not something to fix. It's actually old patterns that come up that promise you a reality that's false. Right? What's the name that people call fear? False evidence seem real or something like that. Some of you probably know it in the comments. So I don't remember the shorts of that. But it's the brain giving you all trauma patterns. Basically, you want to see it as like a little child in you that was scared, that couldn't handle experiences when you were a child. And the little child is like, no, we're going to get bullied again. We're going to get left again. We're going to get abandoned again. We have to use the patterns that we used back in the day. We have to make them love us by trying to be the best, by trying to control their love, by trying to make sure mom and dad are not screaming at us, by trying to make sure that our school mates, our classmates are not judging us by us being quiet and not doing the podcast. You cannot do the podcast. You're going to get judged. And we let this little child that's traumatized, let our life be dictated, and you make decisions on that. What you want to be is you want to be the parent of the child. Again, you want to be your own coach. You want to, the child comes up in form of feelings and thoughts, be like, yeah, I love you, it's fine. We feel not good enough. We feel not ready yet. It's the child screaming, but we're going to start the TikTok channel anyway. We're going to start the YouTube channel anyway. We're going to start the podcast anyway. We're going to start the business, even though the brain says, no, we need to heal of our trauma first. We're going to go in relationships. We're going to start dating, even though the brain says, no, we need to heal our trauma first. We need to fix this first. We need to read another self-help book first. Most people have self-help addictions, which is grabbing another book, finding another teachings to avoid doing the real work. It's way easier to be on TikTok and scrolling for 4 hours straight, right? Which I know from experience, and check other teachings and be like, oh, I'm such a spiritual person. I watched this video, I liked it, I commented on it, I even saved it. And I look back at it, but are you using it? Are you using it? Not using it is, as Mark Freeman says, reading cookbook after cookbook after cookbook and not baking one single donut. You're just like, oh, I read this cookbook. Should I bake something? No, let me get another cookbook. I don't think I'm ready yet to bake. What you want to understand, that the biggest skills you are going to get is from practicing and making yourself your own authority. As your own coach, one of the biggest things that I teach my clients is to be independent of me. I don't want my clients to be with me forever. I want my clients to have the ability to do the things they value. I want my clients to be able to be their own best friends, to be able to be their own best coach. I don't want them to be, my jacket fell down. I don't want them to be addicted to me, right? I'm too proud of that. I have too much honor. When I look in the mirror at night, I want to look at me and be proud of myself. And I'm proud of myself because I do good things. So I want to support you guys being your own coach. But you can only be your own coach if you don't make yourself dependent on a teacher, them always telling you, but not even practicing those things. You want to practice things, and by practicing these tools, you getting better at these tools. There's so many people are like to me who are like, oh, I need to watch another video on meditation, or can you explain me meditation one more time? Have they started meditation yet? Because you are going to become a good meditator while meditating. Ramshar, who's here on the call, she's one of my friends. She and me, we do games together, vibrational games, a lot, really good friends. And we're so good at these games because we're doing these games all the time. And we're doing these games day after day after day after day after day after day. even if sometimes, oh, it wasn't that good, or we felt like this, we're putting in the airtime. Abraham Hicks talks about airtime, right? It's the practice. Anybody who has a mind can tell you that if Cristiano Ronaldo, the soccer player, would have said, I'm never going to start playing soccer until I make the perfect free kick, the perfect kick, he would have never become a soccer player, because he had to stumble, he had to practice, he had to shoot 1,000,000 times to get an amazing free kick, to have an amazing ball handling. Basketball players, sprinters, hell, businessmen. Any businessman will tell you that they learned more from failing on businesses than on reading of books about business. But most people don't get into the actions. Of course, at the same time, we want to learn how to change those belief systems, but we don't want to stop us from doing the things we value because we're not ready yet, because actually your brain's language is behavior, which means you show your brain, you show the little child by doing the things you value, how good you are, how okay you are. So if the little child is screaming, the kid, let's say you want to do a podcast, but the brain says, the little kid says, no, we're going to get judged. We're not ready yet. Or you want to make TikTok videos. I have so many clients who want to create TikTok videos, who want to start their businesses. Or I have many clients who want to support their businesses because they know it's an attention market, right? We know it's an attention market. We know the world. We have the world on our fingertips with our phone, and we can get new customers by getting value. Why can I charge more money in my coaching calls than therapists and a lot of therapists and psychologists? I made 4,000 videos of giving value on the internet. I got better with every single video after video after video I made. And they weren't all like they are today, but I showed my little child, this is what we're doing. It's like brushing my teeth. This is just something we do. Oh, the results can be this way one day, this way. Yeah, we might get a viral video in a week or tomorrow. This is just something that we do, little child. And in the beginning, it might scream for you. The little child's, no, we're going to get judged. We have to have our hair a certain way. We have to say, we cannot stutter. We have to say, what are they going to think about us? The child screams at you. You know why it screams? Because that's what it learns. The child doesn't actually tell you the truth. The child learns the patterns it learned from the past. And the child actually looks at you for guidance. So you are the child screaming now at you like, no, we cannot do this. And if you go, what? We cannot do this. It's scary. The child is like, what the fuck? You are scared. I'm a child. You are scared. Now freak out even more. You make the child freak out even more. You want to be the adult now. You take the child by the hand. You know with cognitive diffusion, oh, these are thoughts. These are emotions. I can have emotions. I can have thoughts. I'm a human being. And I can step by step make some videos. Okay, I'll make a video today. I'll make a video tomorrow. Child still screaming. Child screaming for weeks. On some point, the child's like, this is not so bad. We actually do really good. This is fun. I knew this. I always knew that we are confident and we are amazing. What are you talking about? I'm a genius. We are geniuses. Look at this. Look at this. We are geniuses. I'm sorry. I was screaming at you 3 weeks ago. I didn't know. You're supposed to tell me. You're supposed to tell me. I'm the child. That's why I want you guys to become your own coach. You want to be the coach of that child. You want to love that child. And that comes with practices. But that doesn't come with like, oh, one quick trick. Oh, give me this trick. Like many people have this addiction. Give me this trick. Give me this trick now. I need this trick now to make the feeling feel better. How can I heartbreak X addiction, this, that? Just give it to me quick. That's like a fat person with diabetes saying on the first day to their private coach in a coaching session after training, why don't I have an 8-pack yet? Why don't I have it? People always say 6-pack, but if you guys didn't know, there's actually 2 more muscles. It's actually the same muscle, but they're like It doesn't really matter, does it? But it can be 8-packs, okay? So why don't I have an 8-pack yet? Because there's a practice, and you guys should be excited about the practice, because the practice is not only, oh, in a month I'm going to be better. The practice you will see already in like weeks of practicing mindfulness, cognitive diffusion, emotional fitness, meditation, vibrational games. You will see the results. You will see the changes. All right.